Hello and welcome back to the Life Writing Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Jones. My cousin, Ebony McCoy, joins me. Hello, cousin. How are you?
Hello, I'm good. I'm good.
Good. Good to see you. It's been a while. It
I know it
has
is. It
been a
definitely has been a
while.
while.
Yeah, we need to catch up at some point.
Absolutely.
At
Absolutely.
some point. But today, for now, we are going to talk about the subject or the topic at hand, National Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I want to let everyone know up front that you are a breast cancer survivor.
I definitely
Woo,
am.
woo, woo.
I
Yes.
definitely am. Yeah.
Praise God for that.
Yeah.
So you have a story in and of itself,
Absolutely.
obviously, because of what I just shared.
Mhm.
You can talk about this topic firsthand, unfortunately, right?
Right.
But fortunately, you're on the other side. Things are looking good. And we're just
Absolutely.
going to talk about some of your experiences or what have you, some of the things that you may recommend via your experience with the
Right.
endeavor, so on and so forth. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's go ahead and jump into it. So, Ebony, I would like to know, like when and how did you find out about you having cancer in the first place?
Well, that's an interesting story because my story of finding out was a little bit different from the normal breast cancer diagnosis. I had some pain in my right breast.
Hmm.
Like I thought maybe it was, nerve pain. Maybe I bumped something in the classroom when I was moving things around. And after about 2 days, I started noticing like a discoloration. And I
Mm.
was like, I don't know what that is. I'm thinking it's a bruise. I'm ignoring it. That probably about 2 or 3 days later from that, noticing the discoloration, I started having like really sharp pain, kind of like pain like somebody may be stabbing, like stabbing pain, like pain where I had to
Wow.
take a pain pill. And I said after a while, I was just like, this pain is not subsided.
Uh-huh.
So I went to the emergency room and I told them, I said, I don't know, I've been having this pain for a couple of days and it is like getting worse and worse and worse. And I have no idea what it is. Of course, emergency room, they bring you in, they do the checkup, and they actually ended up admitting me um,
Mm.
to the hospital to kind of determine what this was. They had a oncologist to come down, and they came and they did a breast exam, noticed a discoloration, and then she said, "I think I feel something behind the nipple of the right
Uh-huh.
breast."
Okay.
And so I'm like, "Okay, all right." Ran a few tests. Had to get a biopsy to determine what this thing was, what this mass was.
Right.
And when it came back, a couple of days, they told me that it was stage 2 breast cancer and that they would have to
Okay.
determine the most effective method to address it. But
Wow.
the first time that the doctor and the nurse actually said, usually people don't have the pain. Usually they find out from a breast exam or something like
Exactly.
that. But the pain was definitely an indication that you needed to come in. I'm glad you did come in.
And so just I
Right.
mean, like all of a sudden you just had
Yeah,
this
it's just like
sensation and this
really
pain.
bad pain. And it was not getting better, it was getting worse. Day after day after day was getting like more like someone just like stabbing. And I was like, I cannot deal with this. I drove myself to the emergency room because I was like, I don't know what's going on.
Wow.
And that's what
Okay.
I found out. And I'm glad I
Wow.
listened to my body because your body will tell you a lot of things. But
That's
you gotta listen
that's
to
what
it.
we say a lot, right? Like
Mhm.
listen to your body, uh these aches, pains, or whatever, anything that's totally out of the norm.
Absolutely.
It's the body is telling you something, right? And we should not self-diagnose ourselves
Absolutely not.
and try to subsequently treat ourselves as, and I say it that way, Ebony, because many of us adults, we're guilty in
Yes, we
that,
are.
and prolong and let things linger. And anyway, that's another discussion in itself. But yeah,
Right.
I think, thank God, yeah, you went and like I said, went through the emergency room at that to have it,
Yes. I was
someone.
in pain. I was in
Wow.
pain.
So okay, the tests, the results came back. stage two, you know, now you got treatment options, etc. So
Absolutely.
what happened next? What did you do next?
Well, so my mom's a nurse. Well, my mom was a nurse.
That, that
So
that's right.
whenever we was kids, she always used to say like, "Hey, follow the recommendations of the doctor. Ask questions if you have questions." So when they gave me this diagnosis, I asked about give me some information about the kind of breast cancer. 'Cause there's several different kinds. So mine's HER2 positive. Um, HER2 positive breast cancer is a cancer that is directly associated with how your body produces estrogen. So hormone therapy is like the best option after you kind of detected where the cancer is and how to really address it. Um, some of the cancer had spread to some of my lymph nodes. So when they did the biopsy and were able to kind of see the different areas of the cancer, they were able to determine that it had not spread to any other organs, and that it was kind of like centralized. It was in my right breast, and then it was and some of my lymph nodes under my right arm. So they gave me the options of approaching it because I was so young.
Mhm.
Approaching it in a way that would be more beneficial as far as survival rate is concerned.
Right.
So they said, what we'll do is we're going to go in, um, we'll do a surgery to kind of address what we can. But what we want to do is we want to kind of shrink it as much as possible. So what we'll do is we'll give you chemotherapy. There'll be two different kinds of chemotherapy that will be given,
Hmm.
and then we'll do a surgery to remove anything that's left. And then to make sure the cells don't come back, we'll do radiation. So
Okay.
I went through um, several rounds of chemotherapy, and it's so crazy. When I first started chemotherapy, that very first treatment,
Hmm.
I was telling the nurse, I was like, my heart is not beating like my heart should be beating. And she's, oh, maybe you're nervous, maybe and it just happens to be that the chemotherapy they was giving me um, is potassium based, and
Okay.
it was causing me to go into like a cardiac arrest. So they
Oh,
had to
wow.
stop it. They had to have a cardiologist from the hospital to come down, and they immediately started like moving around real fast and putting me on machines. And they were like, "No, we can't do this chemotherapy, so we'll have to change it to a different kind." Um,
Wow.
and the cardiologist actually told me that potassium was used years ago as a form of lethal injection because
Uh-huh.
it stops the heart. So he's just like, so that's why we're very mindful when we're giving you chemotherapy that's potassium based because it can be very deadly to you. So yeah, I had two different forms of chemotherapy.
Wow.
Went through surgery to remove the lymph nodes. They removed all the lymph nodes around the two impacted lymph nodes,
Okay.
removed the tissue in the right breast
Hmm.
behind the nipple, and then they removed tissue from the other breast so they can kind of match.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, and then you go through after the constructive surgery or whatever. Some people, have the breast totally removed.
Yeah.
That was the option that was given to me that I didn't select.
Okay.
Um, but then I did the radiation. I did 32 rounds of radiation, and that was the real brutal part. The
So
radiation was because you have to do it every day.
you you,
Uh,
you did say 32, right?
32 rounds. Mhm.
Wow.
And
Okay.
it's Monday through Friday. You have to go every single day and get it done.
Yeah, right, right. I read
Mhm.
up on that.
Yeah.
I have an aunt, my mom's uh, oldest sister, is going through some of what you just mentioned now.
Right.
Yeah, I'm glad you got through this. And remind me again, Ebony. I kind of I can guess, but how long ago was this?
Well, I got my diagnosis for breast cancer in November of 2022, and
Okay.
I went
Yep.
through the treatment for almost a year.
Yep.
Um, anytime you're going through like any type of treatment like that, it's brutal not only for the person going through it, but any caregivers. So it was very, very, um, impactful for my job, for my husband, for
Hmm.
my siblings, for my parents. Like it was a lot.
Yeah.
Um, it was a lot for them to kind of navigate around.
Right.
Because from the surgeries in and out of the hospital to the two surgeries, the surgery for the lymph nodes, and then the surgery for um, the breast, and then the reconstruction surgery. Like, it's a lot. It's a lot. And I think that sometimes we kind of don't really consider how it impacts those who love us. Um,
You
'Cause
you right.
I'm a teacher, so I missed a lot of school. Like, my kids were making cards and sending cards for other teachers to the hospital, and I missed almost a whole school year
Right.
getting
Really.
treatment, and it was
Wow.
devastating for my colleagues, and definitely devastating for my students. They were very like scared and afraid because they're not
Yeah.
used to Ms. McCoy not being there. So when I wasn't there and there was somebody else in my place, it was very difficult adjustment for them. Um,
Wow.
so we just
Wow.
have to be like really, navigate it differently when it comes to family and people that love us and care about us. They want to see us win this
That,
battle, but it is definitely a lot. It's a lot.
absolutely. So I like the way you presented the latter part of that, because I was going to ask you about just how you navigated the process, which you address,
Right.
the treatment options, which you just share, and just to make sure I heard you correctly, you said I know you had the chemo and the 32 rounds of
32 rounds of
radiation,
radiation. Yes.
and the surgeries, and you did
Mm-hmm.
say two, correct?
Two. Two
Okay.
surgeries.
Um, wow, that's I knew back then you
Right.
were dealing with wealth of things, a lot of varied things and what have you. But cousin, I had no idea you were
It's a lot. It's a lot.
experiencing all of that. Yeah,
But it totally changes your whole life. Like, when you go through something like that, like, it changes the way you view life.
yeah,
You may value life completely, but when you get to a situation where, one, I came in for chemotherapy for treatment,
hmm
and chemotherapy almost sends me to cardiac arrest, and then I'm going through the process of chemotherapy, and it's so many surgeries, and you're in and out the hospital. And I'm not a person that gets sick. Like, I
right,
don't get sick. Like, I may get a cold or sinus issues or whatever, but to be like in the hospital, that
yeah,
was my first time in the hospital ever.
no,
So it's a lot. It's a lot. But it definitely changes your perspective of life. It makes you kind of appreciate things a lot more, and kind of like take things so seriously too, because like, look, I don't
yes,
have time to worry about that. Like, I got
you're
other fish
right,
to fry.
right.
So
Perspective, right? You put
yeah,
things in
perspective
perspective, and
totally changes. Totally
wow.
changes.
So I to close this out, I what would you tell someone, young lady, a guy even, what would you tell someone who is going through it now, dealing with it now in various capacities, or what have you?
Well, I think that people are not educated about cancer. Like, they look at cancer as this automatic death sentence. Like, oh my goodness, you have cancer. Like, it's like a terminal illness. No, like, they have so much technology when it
Right.
comes to cancer research, when it comes to treatment options. They have so many different forms of chemotherapy that they can provide. Like, if, for example, one didn't work, here, let's use another one. They have so many different things, but you just have to educate yourself. And what I did was I asked a lot of questions. I mean, I probably asked too many questions, but I asked a lot of questions about, like, HER2 positive, like, what are the survival rates? Um, what are the best approaches when it comes to hormone therapy after the treatment? Because you do have to take treatment even after you become um, ring the bell and say that you are a cancer survivor. You still have treatment afterwards. What do the mammograms look like after the treatment? Because you still have to get the mammograms. So I just ask people to just be mindful and be educated about the vast amount of treatment options that are available. There are several breast cancer survivors, several different cancer survivors, and it's
Mhm.
not a death sentence. You just gotta be proactive. Um, be proactive and not reactive. Don't
Yes.
automatically think that just because someone gives you a diagnosis that's the end all. Be Ask questions. Be curious about your treatment. If they're giving you some type of medication, ask questions. Like
Right.
you don't know the answers to anything unless you ask.
Right.
Um, Keep up with your appointments. Don't miss appointments just because you're tired. And when you do get tired, just think about all the reasons you have to keep going.
I
Like
like
whether it
that.
be family, whether it be friends, whether it be you know religion based, whatever it be. Always keep going because there's other people that are watching you and praying for you and hoping that you'll keep going. And they may not vocalize it, but there's people that are constantly praying for your recovery. So you just got to keep going.
I love it. And such eloquently spoken words. I tell you, that is yeah, you woo, you got me feeling some kind of way, cousin.
Yeah.
That's
You got to keep
huh,
going, man. You got to keep going.
just keep going. And you touched on several things.
Yeah.
One thing in particular you hit me with tremendously when you like, you got people, trying to
Proactive and not
kill.
reactive.
Yeah, yeah. But well,
Practice.
that was another one. You beat me to the punch. I
And
was
you
gonna get to
have
that one.
to.
Being proactive, doing whatever you can do to, just stay on top of things, your checkups, your follow-ups,
Yes.
and your body is telling you something. Listen to it and
Listen
act,
to your
kind of
body.
thing.
Yes.
Um, this well, this has my head all over the place because I want to devote a little more time in and around just health and wellness in itself.
Absolutely.
um, Health and wellness is one of the three major pillars of my platform
Right.
across the board. And health and wellness, and you touched on it. It's just harping on that preventative side of it, being proactive and not reacting to things. Listening to your body, as we've said several times. This has been a tremendous blessing to me, as I hope has touched and
Likewise.
is
Yes.
touching, yeah, the listeners as well. So, Ebony, I appreciate you coming on and sharing those tidbits and sharing your experiences around it, given the gravity of what you
Right.
just dealt with. So I appreciate it, and I'll be circling back with you in some capacity as needed. There's a lot of people have been reaching out, asking about various topics that they want me to address, and I'm like, hey, I'm not. That's one of my pillars, health and wellness, but I'm not a health and wellness expert kind of thing. I like getting people on who, one, have literally and physically been through a particular thing,
Right.
or a subject matter expert, a doctor, a nurse, or what have you, nurse practitioner, who can intelligently talk about these types of subjects via their formal training and background. So thank you so much for joining
You're
me.
welcome. You're welcome. Anytime. Anytime.
Yeah, thanks again, and to the audience, thanks for your continued support of tuning in. Continue to reach out, emails, so on and so forth. Topics that you want me to address, to talk about, or what have you. Don't hesitate to put your name in the hat and say you want to come on, as I'm getting back into having these one-on-one interviews and such, like I just did with my cousin Ebony. But yeah, again, thanks again for your support. When you visit the channel, like a video that resonate with you, comment and share. Don't forget to subscribe and share the channel. The Life Writing Podcast is another way. We inform and inspire people to write the lives they desire. Take care.